Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 32. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report where we have plenty of profits. They are good and stable for the particular week. We have a new all-time high coin once more, so great news on this particular set also. And then we have a new video out this week. And on top of this, we're going to show you how we can make $200 into $26,000. So let's get started, go through all the week's ups and downs. The first one is definitely an up. This is the Yieldnodes for the first week of August. We managed a profit of 1.4%. Quite happy with this, and as usual, Yieldnodes has produced stable results all the way through. Obviously, they really jumped up. So on last week's or last month's profit, past the 9%. We are not exactly sure if that's going to happen also this particular month, but obviously we are allowed to hope. So the profit starts off basically where we are used to it. So you can see the small little arrow, and now we are looking at the slight pink part in August, where we are still fairly low compared to some of the other months. But let's see what's going to happen in the next weeks to come. So profits might be coming up again. And if we go to SAPP or Sapphire coin, then we can see also the return on the investment per year has been quite stable. It lies within 1% at the moment. So, and that's what we can definitely call stable. On top of this, we have seen an increase on the shared masternode of around 12%. So that has been quite good, well accepted for sure. But look at the coin development overall here. We have gone from 633% last week up to 692, so almost 700%, and we keep counting. Now, why is that? Well, we can see we have continued to have a nice little retracement, and after this we can see again that we are topping up and it's moving in definitely the right direction. It'll be very interesting to see what's going to happen in the next months, and then obviously if also they're going to use the Sapphire coin for their special project in the future. If we have a look at Peony, also very stable. This is actually the first time we've seen that the percentage return on the investment was the same from previous weeks. So we had to double check it, but it seems to be okay. So the shared masternoding has once again been stable, 16% for this particular week. But the overall coin development is basically gone back from 8% positive into around 0. And obviously it helps a bit when we get the shared masternoding of 16%, so more coins in there. But the development has definitely not been the best for this coin so far. We are hanging on to it. It looked pretty okay earlier in the week, but we now see it has a certain dip again. So as you can see on the graph, obviously overall we still believe that this is coming back up where it used to be. For Birake or beer, so we also have a slight reduction. So in the return on the investment per year from 104% down to around 103. And that again gives us more than 3% since last week on the shared masternoding. And that's what we are quite happy with at the moment. Overall coin development has also taken a nice jump up. So basically more than 40% in the last week. And that is obviously great to see. We also expect this one here to continue in the right direction, where we are considering that to being up, up and up. So looking good for now. Overall, if we look at Bitcoin versus USDT, because this is still what very much is being set all the way through the crypto world, this is the numbers that everybody is looking at. We can see there's a fairly good development. So we were down at 22,400 end of last week, and then after that we have seen a positive trend, even though there is dips and retracements from time to time. But at the moment of the video we're shooting here, it is 24,500, so definitely not too bad, and hopefully we will see that climb even further in the next months. Elevate Pass is not one to climb at the moment. It's been very, very stable. This is the 4th week now where we see 0.5% for the week. And obviously we would like to see higher percentage, as anybody would. On the other hand, we also like the stability that they have managed to get so far. So let's see where they're going to go. Commission plan, obviously, if you're not happy with the 0.5%, set up your own team. That is a possibility. Get your 10% direct commission. And then on top of that, any other people matrix commission is 1.8. So you'll get that on top of it. So that's a good way of building your team and some extra income. So if you think the 0.5% is not enough. What is not enough is Solar Farm version 1. We are now a bit out of the 14.28% for the version 1. And we have hit a supernova that has been active for quite a few days now. And that has provided us with an extra profit. And everything seems to be going in the right direction. So that is very good. What unfortunately is not so good is that part of the solar status details that we previously have sent out, it looks like the developing team will no longer use the hypernova and the solar flare. So they seem to be cancelled. And we will only have these long term, where you will have the cooling phase, which will go down to 8%, and then over a period of 24 hours, it will slowly and gradually go back up to 14.28. You have the normal one that we have seen for the last many weeks, which is 14.28. And at the moment, we're in the supernova phase, going from 14.28% up to 20%. How long exactly that's going to happen, we don't know. It is always announced on the Telegram channel. So keep an eye on that if you want to be up to date with the latest details. Also in this particular week, so we had another shooting star, and this is for Solar Farm version 2. It was a nice one because we got 45% panel bonus, and obviously a lot of people enjoyed this part. After this, there was a big sell-off, and we actually managed to capture this in our latest video, which we call Buy, Compound, Sell. And this is exactly where we wanted to show you again on how you take out your profits. And in this particular case, we took out 3.5 BNB, and then we added back 20% again, so 0.7. And this also shows you the details. On top of this, we're very lucky to actually capture the TVL being blown away. It was actually dropped by 200 BNB in less than 5 minutes. So we had all this in this video. Also, you can see that you're not the only one that are getting hit. So with these big dumps and pumps once in a while. So we hope that this video can show you that this is actually happening to everybody. And the best thing that you can do in these cases is continue to compound. Make sure you get up to your minimum 15% bonus, 18 if possible. And obviously even better at 480 compounds, which we are currently running towards after this video here. We will get an astonishing 30%, so we should be able to beat the inflation. During all these crises from the last week, so the developers has been trying to stop the TVL from dropping this much, and there is 2 sections in here where there was an announcement, and that means also there was a little internal discussion from all the solar farm members here on how we could do this best, and then there was a vote. And it ended up being that you can only compound for 24 hours. After that, your compounding will no longer go up, and you have to take your profit out. The second part is also a limitation, so on how much you can take out at a time. That ended up at 5% of the TVL, so at any given time you can maximum take out 5% of the TVL. So in that case, if it was 626, you could take maximum 31 out. Obviously, we believe that a few people missed the entire point here, and most probably the percentage should have been a bit lower. Maybe there will be a new vote in the near future. Solar Farm 2, so after this particular weeks, once again, you can definitely say this has been a roller coaster. We can see the total value locked, it has gone down, but again, as usual, it doesn't really reflect exactly what has happened, because it did go down quite dramatically, and then it went up to more than 700 BNB. And just as we were shooting the video, we went below 600, so now at 597 BNB, and that's a reduction since last week on 11%. Panels owned, and you have to remember that this is actually where you're getting your percentage from. The 14.28 and all the bonuses comes from your panel owned. It's not the panel value itself. So obviously that has gone up quite dramatically, 217%. But because of everything that we just mentioned here, the panel value has basically been stable at 25 at one point, but we're up during the shooting star here at around 47 BNB, so obviously a huge drop also for us and everybody else. Exchange rate also has changed quite a bit, and as you can see, that has also changed by 160%, and that is basically some of the sad numbers for this particular week. And obviously the BNB versus USDT also have something to do with it. As we can see here, that has actually had a better profile than the Bitcoin versus USDT. It has been continues to go up. Last week it was around the 300 mark, and again at the time here of this video it was at 332, and it looks like it's going to continue up again, so where it used to have its strength. Solar Farm 1 is definitely a bit more in the green and certainly a lot more stable. So if you want to try that, you can obviously go in and do that. Doesn't matter if you are already registered on version 2, you can also add money into version 1. Overall, total value locked in here has only dropped by 5. And again, we have also seen this go a bit up, and then at the end of the day, it ended up at 52 BNB at the moment, which is obviously not much, but it now looks to be fairly stable. The panels owned has gone up by quite a bit, 337, and that again means that we have gone from our 14.28% up to 20, and that obviously also helped the number quite a bit. Panel value here is at 11%, and the daily rewards has gone up by 56. So once the 20% goes down again to 14.28, you will see that the panel value will actually go up, and then the daily rewards should go down as we used to know it. So, but right now this is the way it is, and that also means that it is certainly not the best time to go sell. Might want to wait until it comes down to 14.28 again, but obviously it's entirely up to you and the strategy you are using. Solar versus BNB also has a positive development over the week. It did start at the end of last week, so with a nice jump, and after that it has been fairly stable all the way through the week, despite everything else that has happened to the solar farm. So good news, at least that part is the stable one. What is not so stable is AI marketing, and after 10 days, again, it's similar to the previous weeks that we mentioned. We simply don't have any sales in there on our platform at the moment. Everything looks like it's at zero. We can see the ad budget is being picked up, and it's being picked up quite quickly at the moment. So definitely within the time frame of 24 to 48 hours. But obviously when things like this is not really working, it's very difficult to see if the platform is actually fully working and you're supposed to add more money into it. Unfortunately, we cannot really get any answers out of AI marketing, so the meeting continues to be postponed again and again. And also this Tuesday, it was announced that it's now moved until the 23rd of August. And obviously, we don't even know if that meeting is going to go ahead or not. What will go ahead is obviously our trading robots, and we have put a few more errors on this particular week. And that was just to tell you that the gold and the silver is currently still in a drawdown. It's been for a while. US 30 index is also in a drawdown, where some of the other ones are looking good. And then we have one blown account here, which is the Euro New Zealand. And again, this is only the preliminary steps. So this is a demo account, and it only managed to do about 5-6 days before it started to get into a drawdown. And this is one of the latest ones that we added to it, end of July. So that means, end of June. And that means that we haven't really had enough data. And this is definitely one of the ones that we had a lot of trouble with already when we looked at the profit versus the risk. And it's not even close to ever coming on our live account so far. What does have a good chance of coming on the live accounts is definitely the British pound versus Australian dollars, 6.8% for this particular last week. And then British pounds USD also did quite well, 5.9. As you can see, both the gold and the silver is currently not there. But still, the top five robots here managed to get $1,653 in, or 3.3% for the week, which is definitely not too bad. On top of that, actually our live account with real money, so both the gold and the silver, has done quite well. Obviously, they're not started exactly at the same time, and that's why the results is also different. But we managed to make more than $3,000, so just in the last couple of weeks. And you can also see here, if we look at the entire month of July for the top 5 EAs, then again we can see that the silver is on top with 35%, so quite astonishing numbers, even that we are now looking at a drawdown. So we have to look at it in a bigger perspective than just week by week. And then also you see the gold has also done quite well, 27.1%. So those two are definitely running away with most of the profits. And then we have the British pounds versus USD and the British pounds versus Aus, 15.0% and 13.6%. Overall, we can see that we managed to get $10,368 for this particular month. And then 20.7%, which is definitely not bad, but it's a bit low compared to some of the previous months. But at the end of the day, we are quite happy with the numbers we see here. What we're also happy with is Alex, because he always got some great news and some interesting new concepts, or even in this particular case, where he managed to turn $200 into $26,000 in just a few hours. Obviously, this here is turning the trading account into a cent account. And on top of that, you also get 30%. So extra money, and that's where you end up with the 26,000. We have already opened one of these accounts here also, so go and have a look at the video. He explains exactly how this is done. The only thing that I have to tell you here also is make sure that you do not open it up in Europe, so because you won't be able to get the discounts here with the both the leverage, because in Europe the leverage is only 1-30. That is definitely not very good if you want to set up with a profit retriever. So make sure you take the other selection and not the European one. On top of this, we also have the robot trading course. One of the students here has followed this one and has doubled his account in 4 weeks. And Alex is showing this again. This is part of the premium forum where you can go in and listen and go through the different steps from Alex's training course. Part of also the premium forum here is the weekly forecast, and another one of the members in here, so in the same forum, has also had a 86% success rate. So obviously there's plenty of things to look at when it comes to Expert Forex and all the knowledge that Alex has. And then we're getting closer to the copy trading part, and Alex is obviously preparing us for this, showing exactly how this works in this particular video here. So why there can be some delays and why you might not see exactly the same results. There's also solutions on how to get even closer to the same results as the one that's trading, and he's also covering this in this particular video. And that's what we have for you in this week's news report. As you can see, we have plenty of positive news. So we have some good profits, we have some new all-time highs. We will continue to try and provide this and new information on all the projects that we are currently involved in. And I hope you're going to have a nice weekend where you can sit down and go through this step by step. So hope to see you on the next news report. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.